Hello and welcome to the open house at MBCC. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the educational system program. My name is Carla Baxter. I'm the coordinator instructor of the program presently. The course is offered in Moncton and St. John. We have 40 students enrolled in the St. John campus and 20 at the Moncton campus. So I'm going to share a little PowerPoint with you today and give you a little bit of an overview of the program. Then at the end, the last slide will give you contact information if you want some further information. I'd like to thank you for joining us and for showing interest in the educational system program, and I hope to meet you sometime soon along the way. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint presentation with you here. So as you can see, we are part of a large program, a larger school, and these are the programs that are within it. We are under the School of Arts, Community, and Protective Services. The Educational Assistant is just one of many programs that you saw listed there. We are a one-year program. It runs from September to June, and it's a certificate program. It is about 40 weeks in time. When you complete the program, you will have the skills to work and assist a teacher in a classroom in the province of New Brunswick. We will look from K right through to 12, and the role of the educational assistant is to support the teacher. Some of our graduates have also worked as autism support workers, family support workers, or with the New Brunswick Association of Community Living. The core courses in the curriculum that you will look at, the core courses are the foundational. The common courses are types of courses that you would see in some of our other NBCC programs. So our core courses, our course would start out with the orientation to educational assistant, where we would look at policies, procedures, roles, responsibilities. You would also complete the human growth and development course, which look from birth to 18 years and how individuals grow and develop. We would spend a lot of time on children with exceptionalities, looking at the prevalence, the characteristics of students that you may encounter with exceptionalities, guidance with school-age children and adolescents. And that's probably one of my favorites, and it's the one that would look at classroom management techniques in the school system. Some of the core courses that you may see across other programs would be interpersonal communications, applied writing, work safely, and orientation to community services. So the two communications, interpersonal communication, working as part of a team, as well as learning to write properly. That might be a thing you'll be teaching others as students as you're working with them. So that's a piece of it. A part of the Work Safely program is looking at your own health and safety as you work in the schools of the province. And Orientation to Community Service is a course that looks at leadership and volunteerism as you go through the program. So further curriculum, this is a long list of courses. So strategies for inclusive classroom. Once we've looked at the exceptionalities of students you may encounter, and we've looked at some of the exceptionalities, what are the strategies as we work with the students throughout the school? The others would be behavior interventions. And as you know, one of the, or may not know, one of the main reasons that educational assistants are hired presently is to help with classroom management and working with children with some special behavioral issues. So you're going to have a course in that. Then you would look at special topics and mental health, very specific again to working not only with children in the school system, but even working with yourself. Introduction to sociology, as schools are part of a larger structure. So sociology is important in the impact we have on the families that we work with and the communities we work in. Healthcare and the educational environment kind of speaks for itself, but it looks at teaching the health and safety to children, looking at nutrition and diet and that type of thing. We will have 3 practicums presently, 3-week practicums that occur. You'll have the opportunity to work for 3 weeks in elementary school, 3 weeks in a middle school, and 3 weeks in a high school. So it gives you really good exposure to 3 schools and 3 different levels. And before you graduate, you will have employment strategies course, which will look at getting your resume ready, your interview skills, and all the necessary things to get you out into the work field. So the first term really focuses on introductory knowledge, the basis and the foundations, where term two is more of the applying of our content. So you will work your workplace learning and practicum is the applying part for sure. You will be supervised by a mentor. We pair you with another educational assistant when you are in the school working with a teacher, as well as one of your faculty members will be supporting you through that process. Some of the special considerations with the educational assistant program is remembering you are working in a sector where you're working with vulnerable folks. So some recommend that you have MBCC immunization and medical records or proof of immunization, not required for employment in the program presently. That may be something you want to talk about your doctor to ensure that you have all the required booster shots as you go in. You will be required to have a criminal record check and a vulnerable sector check, which would be done by your local law enforcement folks. You may be required, if you decide to work in an early learning center, a social development check. And you all will require a Policy 701 training before you enter into the school system. That's something we'll do with you in the program, but it's looking at really protecting pupils as well as yourselves as you work. Some of the additional materials that you might wish to have, we do have textbooks, not a huge amount. We do use our Brightspace learning spot for most of our content, but you will have some textbooks. Recommend a US memory stick to carry things back and forth if you wish. And from time to time, you may choose to do a project and present it using extra materials, and that would be up to you. Now, NBCC, as you know, is what we call a is a live program, which means we utilize computers during our training. So every person coming in must have a laptop that meets minimal requirements, and you can find that at our NBCC website. Many of the extras, you can go to nbcc.ca at any time and move through there. But if you're wondering about program technologies and computers, they will be outlined for you at that particular website you see. So what's the year look like? We follow what we call a 7-1-7 schedule, which means 7 weeks of content, a week off, and then 7 weeks of new courses. So in our first section, you'll be is September to October. You'll do not all the courses. You'll do a chunk, 2.5, 3 courses. They are completed. You'll have a student where you'll be spending time resting, relaxing, completing things, getting ready for the next term. And then November, December will be another chunk of classes. Same thing will happen in term 2. And typically in term 2, you'll probably be looking at a practicum in there. So that's a 3-week practicum, coming back, completing a course, and again, chunking it. And in the third term, which is our spring term, kind of the April to June time, you'll be completing usually 2 practicums, middle and high school, as well as your employability skills. That's kind of how our year is laid out, nicely chunked. You're getting the foundational stuff in the first term, and then you're doing application components in the second term. So what's a typical day look like? It's a combination of many things, and depending, it will include online Brightspace support with curriculum. If you don't have a textbook, usually there's lots of content there for you. We would post PowerPoint activities. You'll be doing lectures, demos. We do use Brightspace. So good news, bad news, there's a lot of projects. And that's the application piece for sure. So in college, how do we do assessments? Our pass mark is a 60%. That may be different than what you're used to. We do a variety of things. We do assignments, projects, essays, research projects, presentations. You may do discussion questions in a classroom or through the virtual classroom discussion board. There will be a combination of tests and exams. And we use something called a rubric. So as you're going through, you'll know exactly everything that you'll need to do and how you're going to be marked. Do remember that the passing grade is 60, and sometimes that's new for many students. So some of the expectations for us from a faculty perspective is attendance, engagement. Those are the two success pieces to the program. I often say our program isn't difficult, but it's really labor intensive. So time management and being on campus when you're required to, attending virtual classes when you're required to, and getting engaged with it certainly will make you successful. Um, we really look at a positive attitude because when employers contact us, they don't want to know, were you an A plus or a B student? They want to know, were you engaged? Was this were you personable? Did you work well as a team with your other classmates? Those are all essential to being an effective educational assistant. And finally, some of the contact information, as you have time to reflect upon this at a later time, is to get in contact. Our department chair's name is Tammy Scott, and her email is tammy.scott@nbcc.ca. And myself, the coordinating instructor, it's carla.baxter@nbcc.ca. Really hope to see you in September, a September near, sooner rather than later. I will invite you to come on board and enjoy your time as a college student and be ready to work. Our graduates have such great opportunities in the employment. Um, if you're a good student, you work hard, and have fun along the way, you will be successful. So congratulations. Hopefully this has given you a little bit of the information that you've been looking for. And if you need some more, please feel free to contact us. Thank you again and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.